What do you think is that biggest question that is still in your head after spending years with this footage? A lot of it never before seen footage, a lot of conversations with police, with Eileen herself, with people that knew her from childhood onward. I mean, what's your biggest question still?
I guess the truth is so hard to grasp in this case because both with like the crimes themselves, there was Eileen and the victim, and neither party are here. I think the questions around Eileen's personal relationships in her life, some people, they so it remains to be the truth is kind of held by individuals, and so the actual facts of the case are really hard to divine with any certainty. But I guess the biggest and haunting questions are um, for me are whether or not something like this could happen today. I mean, we don't tell the true crime procedural story in this film. That's very much been told. The police officer kind of walks us through the cases, but what our focus is on her treatment, both in the media. This story occupies a very interesting time in our kind of true crime obsession, but also in the hands of the criminal justice system. And so I guess the question that I have and that I hope people reflect on is kind of if this could happen today, the same thing.
That was one of the things I had a question with because it's just really interesting and fascinating to see the way the media talked about people, especially in the 90s, early 2000s. The documentary, one of the lines that started out was a police officer saying, I don't know how she got any customers. She wasn't good looking. I mean, how do you think her story might have been different if what she did happened today?
That's a really good question. And, thankfully, there haven't been any other Eileens. There was definitely this question at the time of like, is this what's happening to women? Are women going to start suddenly behaving like this? And so we don't know if that would happen today because it hasn't happened again. But yeah, it's really interesting how the fixation is so on what she looked like and her physicality. And I think as women, that is often the experience and the way that female stories are told. Um, it's interesting looking back on, Charlize Theron's incredible Oscar-winning portrayal of her, but so much of the press is entirely centered on Charlize Theron's physical um, transformation. And isn't it incredible that she put on weight? Isn't it incredible that she shaved her eyebrows and was ugly? And without and lots of the coverage around the film doesn't really grapple with the story and how beautifully that was told by the performances and Patty Jenkins, but it's what she looks like.